everybody, it's your boy the Strongest Wizard, and tonight is indeed fight night, and we have a special match for you guys. This is Store Championship Finals here at Perfect Rares in Artesia, California, and we have some familiar faces here. We have John on the right hand side piloting that ace again, and we have David on the left rocking out that Rob Lucci. If you know me at all, you know I love Rob Lucci. I think he's very, very good in this set, and yeah, let's see if you can take it home. So here we saw the 8K swing going into life here for John, and John did end up taking it. And now let's see how much John is planning on committing to swing at life, because we know that is probably usually the play here. And we see a 7K swing going into life. But quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is DXN Outpost, DXN Provisions, the only place where I get all my sealed products. And yeah, if you guys are interested in any of the OP05 pre-orders, check the link down below. So we saw David take the life here, and John actually not playing anything else, and just passing turn here. And now it's up to David here what exactly he wants to do. He's gonna swing for 5K and then play the Bueno coming down. Interesting enough, very surprised that he did end up swinging first, and he ended up playing first and then swinging, but it's okay. Ace did end up countering out of that with the crossfire, of course, using Ace's ability. Seeing a 6K swing into life here, we're going to 2K counter with that Khalifa, and that's really important because if that Bueno would have died, he would have had no, would have gotten no character from trash because there is none. So we did see obviously the Marco, and John pretty much saying, you know what, I just need more bodies, big bodies on the board. Most likely I can't pop anything that's 3K or lower on your side of the field because everything is protected. But we see the Rob Lucci 5K going into John now. Now John has to make a decision. You see him actually almost taking that life. He's counter out of it with the 2K, of course. And now David, is he going to commit to swinging here with his 5-6 character? A lot of times people usually don't because they're a bit afraid, but kind of with like Law, I kind of see why not. But we see the 4 costs and then the 3 cost blockers coming down, and these are really important in this matchup because you cannot remove them. But we see the ace coming down, John firing back here, swinging 5K into lead, and using the ace's ability to minus the 2 big characters there. We saw the 6K now swing coming into play. He did 2K counter out of the first leader ability, and now he's gonna have to trash, and no, he just ends up taking it actually. And then we see the 7K swing, and he end up taking both now. And then we see the buggy coming down to close out the turn and grabbing that radical beam. Very, very explosive turn here for John. Now David has to get rid of some of these characters. Having the 6K plus the 7, it's just a lot of pressure. And yeah, let's see what David can do to try to control this board a little bit. Now we obviously know that Rob Lucci does have a lot of tools to remove some of this board, and David has a lot of removal in this deck. I do know that it's mainly CP based, so he actually doesn't run any brand news, more just like Spandams, and he actually even runs the Aerodor engine, which I am a huge fan of. I just love how it's a bit of a roulette game with that card, but it's a lot of fun. But clearly it's working for David. This is, like I said, finals here at Perfect Rare, so it's got to mean something here. And now I think David has to commit to the swing of the Bueno. It being a 6K attacker, I think you need to attack. It just he has too many cards on board not to attack. And it looks like David is debating on how much Dawn he wants to commit here. And we saw the Tashigi in hand, and it looks like David wants to possibly swing 5K into lead, and he's going to go ahead and use the ability here to trash the crossfire. And then we see the 6K swing going into life. We're going to 2K counter with that Jozu. We're going to see the Tashigi coming down. You know, Tashigi is really good just because you can actually neg the cost of some of the characters that you're trying to remove. But unfortunately, even if David was to play a Kaku right now, he cannot remove anything because he only has 1 CP card in trash. This is extremely, extremely big. But I mean, David still has 6 Dawn up here, and you do see me a bit of the fast forward here because David does take a while thinking about this turn. This is a very important turn for David. Things can go really sideways, but we see the Wanze coming down, trashing 1 to pop a 1 cost. very funny enough, I do have that card on my in my actual Rob Lucci deck list in my YouTube. So yeah, pretty cool to see that someone else is using it. And David still has 4 up, and passing turn with that. He has a multitude of blockers now. So yeah, not looking too bad for David. Let's see exactly what John is gonna do here. Of course, looks like John is at his 10 Dawn already, which is a bit scary because once Red has a ton of Dawn, you know, big characters start coming down, big things. So we see a 5k swing actually going into life, possibly baiting that Borsellino to block, and it looks like David might feed it here. But also it might be at a point too where David just feels like he has to. He doesn't even have a choice. So we will see. Even if he were to shockwave here, it's essentially useless, and he just ends up taking it. Actually, the 5k swing, very surprising. And it looks like he has like 4 or 5 cards in his hand, and we see another ace coming down. So he was baiting it a bit, and now we see a 7k swing going into life here. And I figured David has to either shockwave this or block it. I don't think he has a choice, and it looks like he's gonna take it, and he does take it. And now we see a 7k swing into life. Very, very interesting here now, and we see 2 cards coming down, and he ends up blocking it with the last one, and we see the nasty card here of the Seaquake coming down. Very, very good card. Kind of wild here. Let's see exactly what he's going to end up doing. So now David has some ground to work here. He's got to you know, put his boots on, because John is currently at 4 life here, and David has 2 blockers up, the Tashigi and the Wanze. Now Wanze's not that bad because he is a 4k, so giving him 1 more is, you know, pretty necessary here. But what does he want to do? Does he want to try to clear board? And he does actually. He ends up swinging at the character ace here for, it looks like 9k, and it looks like John is going to radical beam it out. Keeping those big bodies on board it's extremely crucial, just because it kind of says, you know what, I kind of got game if you can't, if I remove all your characters here. But we see the Tashigi plus the Granny to then Kaku, one of the aces away, putting 2 CP cards back at the bottom of the deck. And then we're going to use the ability of the Rob Lucci to restand, swinging at the other one, letting it go, and passing turn. Now David has 2 blockers that are unremovable by effect. So we see a 5k swing, and he's going to block it with the 6k here. And we see a 7k swing going into life, and we see it on block, and then we see the Shanks for game. Oh man, bringing it back to OP01. So quick shout out to John for winning Perfect Rares Store Championships. Congratulations, my dude. And stay tuned, guys, because I have a ton of new OP03 content coming out soon. See ya.